war, destruction, and an uncertain future. This is the reality of the Russia Ukraine crisis. What started as a political conflict turned into one of the most devastating wars of the modern era. Millions have suffered, economies have collapsed, and the world watches as history unfolds. But how did we get here? What does the future hold? In this video, I take a deep dive into the Russian Ukraine war, its causes, consequences, and the hope for peace. Stay with me till the end to understand this crisis like never before. Let's get started. The Russia Ukraine conflict did not start in 2022. The roots of this war go back to 2014 when Russia took over Crimea, a region that was part of Ukraine. This action shocked the world and created deep tensions between the two nations. Before this, Ukraine had close relations with Russia, but many Ukrainians wanted to be closer to Europe. In 2013, protests began in Ukraine after its president, Viktor Yanukovych, refused to sign an agreement with the European Union. Many Ukrainians wanted to better opportunities and democracy, while Yanukovych favored strong ties with Russia. These protests, called the Euromaidan movement, led to the removal of Yanukovych from power. Russia did not like this change. It saw Ukraine moving away from its influence and towards Europe and NATO. In response, Russia sent soldiers into Crimea in early 2014. Within weeks, Russia took full control of Crimea, claiming that people there wanted to be part of Russia. However, Ukraine and many countries saw this as an illegal takeover. This event marked the beginning of a long and dangerous conflict. After Crimea, fighting started in eastern Ukraine, where some regions supported Russia. This war continued for years, with thousands of people losing their lives. The tensions kept growing, and by 2021, Russia had stationed thousands of soldiers near Ukraine's border. Many feared a full-scale war was coming. Unfortunately, these fears became reality in February 22. On February 24, 2022, Russia launched a large-scale invasion of Ukraine. Cities across Ukraine were bombed and Russian troops entered from different directions. The world watched in shock as the biggest war in Europe since World War II began. Ukraine was not prepared for such a big attack, but its people stood strong. President Volodymyr Zelensky refused to leave the country and encouraged Ukrainians to fight. His leadership inspired people worldwide. Civilians, including men and women, picked up weapons to defend their land. Russia expected to win quickly, but Ukraine resisted harder than anyone imagined. The Russian army faced strong opposition and the war turned into a long, brutal conflict. Millions of Ukrainians fled their homes, becoming refugees in other countries. Cities like Mariupol, Kharkiv, and Kyiv saw intense battles. Many civilians were killed, and entire neighborhoods were destroyed. Despite this, Ukraine continued to defend itself. As the war continued, more countries got involved, not by sending soldiers, but by helping Ukraine in other ways. As Ukraine fought back, many countries around the world started helping it. The United States and the United Kingdom and European countries sent billions of dollars in aid, including weapons, medical supplies, and humanitarian assistance. Sanctions were also placed on Russia. These economic punishments affected Russia's trade, business, and banks. Many global companies left Russia and its economy struggled. However, despite these challenges, Russia continued its attacks. Meanwhile, Ukraine's military received advanced weapons, including tanks, missiles, and drones. These helped Ukraine push back forces in some areas. NATO, a military alliance of Western countries, increased its presence in Europe to prevent the war from spreading. Even with all this support, Ukraine faced difficulties. Russia had a larger army and more resources. The war turned into a battle of endurance, with both sides refusing to give up. Ukraine did not just defend itself, it started pushing Russian forces out of some areas. With the help of Western weapons, Ukraine launched counter-offensive in 2022 and 2023, reclaiming parts of its land. One of the Ukraine's biggest victories was the recapture of Kherson, a key city. This boosted Ukrainian morale and showed that Russia was not unstoppable. However, every battle came with losses. Thousands of soldiers and civilians lost their lives, and many cities were left in ruins. Russia also intensified its attacks, using drones and missiles to target Ukraine's energy infrastructure. During winter, many Ukrainians suffered without electricity or heating. Despite these challenges, Ukraine kept fighting. The war did not just affect Russia and Ukraine, it had global consequences. One major effect was the rise in food and fuel prices. Ukraine is a major exporter of wheat, and Russia is a key supplier of gas and oil. When the war started, supply chains were disrupted and prices soared worldwide. Many countries, especially in Africa and Asia, faced food shortages. Inflation increased in many nations, making daily life harder for people. Governments had to find new energy sources and ways to stabilize their economies. The war also changed international politics. Countries like Sweden and Finland decided to join NATO for protection. The conflict reshaped alliances and made global security a major concern. As of 2025, the war is still not fully over. Ukraine continues to demand all its land back, while Russia refuses to withdraw. Peace talks have happened, but no final agreement has been reached. Both countries have suffered great losses. Thousands of soldiers and civilians have died, and cities have been destroyed. The war has changed lives forever. The future is uncertain. Some experts believe the war could last many more years, while others hope for a diplomatic solution. One thing is clear: this war has left a deep mark on history. Despite all the destruction, many people still hope for peace. organizations, world leaders, and citizens around the globe continue to push for an end to the world. The most important question remains, when will this war end? Will Ukraine and Russia ever find a peaceful solution? Only time will tell. One thing is certain, people everywhere want peace, and they hope that one day Ukraine and Russia can rebuild and move forward. The Russia Ukraine war has caused immense pain, destruction, and global instability. While the fight continues, so does the hope for peace. What do you think? Will there ever be an end to this war? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep insights into world affairs. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for our next video.